Okay, so an update on the chickens. So we have some baby chicks that are no longer baby chicks right in here. They're about 6 weeks old. We'll zoom in on them. Gretchen's the Buff Orpington, and then we have 3 Rhode Island Reds. We've named them Pamela, Phyllis, and the little one is Petunia. I built a small chicken coop for them. This is a movable one. You could call it a chicken tractor if you wanted to. I have some water outside. You can see here, zoom in, PVC pipe. I have food for them in there. It gives them food inside in case I have to keep them locked up during the day. And of course I'll have water in there for them as well. We're doing some experiments because we have these chicks, which are technically called pullets now. And then we have our main hens. Here's Martha right now. Martha's sitting here. She's very interested in the other ones, but that's Martha. Moving up here, we have Gertrude. She's hanging out here among the ferns. There's Gertrude. Molly's the white one over there. You probably can't see her too well, but behind Molly, there in the bush, is Mildred. I believe that's Mildred. I can't really see her. No, it's Matilda. Matilda's the black one there, behind Molly. Hanging out right in there. And then inside the main coop, over there, Mildred's laying right now. But one of our chickens, Maud has gone broody. Maud went broody June 1st. And there's a lot of things you can do with broody hens. Remind me later on, we need to talk about our herbs for the chickens, but we'll get to that later. Maud went broody. Maud went broody June 1st, which means she stopped laying eggs. And she was a great producer of eggs. She's the Barnvelder, the one that lays the chocolate colored eggs. So Maud went broody, she stopped laying eggs, and it means she's sitting on the nest all day long. See, there's Mildred there on her in the nesting box. Let's see if we can focus in on her at all. Might be able to. There's Mildred. But let's come around and look at Maud. So Maud went broody June 1st, which means she thinks she's sitting on top of fertilized eggs waiting for them to hatch. And there's Maud in there in the nesting box. I made a temporary nesting box for her. So let's see if we can get a better, closer up look. Might not be able to. I apologize to you guys out there for giving you crappy video. But there's Maud. Alright, she's looking in kind of zen-like state, just sitting there all day long, doing nothing, keeping those eggs warm. She'll come out once or twice a day to drink, eat, and poop. But that's it. Other than that, she spends, 23 hours a day there in her nesting box. Now over here in the corner, right here, very close to us, is Mildred laying her eggs, and she's making noises because she's not happy that we're here talking about her and them. But this box here in the corner, the one that Mildred's in right now, that's kind of the community nesting box. That's where all of the chickens go to lay their eggs. We have 5 nesting boxes set up, but chickens are community birds. What does that mean? That means that they all try to share resources, and they try to share and do the collective good for the flock. So if there's a good nest that's good enough to lay an egg in, they all will lay eggs in there, and they'll share that same box regardless of how many other good boxes you have set up for them. So when Maud over there in the alternate nesting box, when Maud went broody, she went broody in this nest. And when she went broody in this nest, it kind of disrupted things because all the other hens wanted to continue to lay in the community nesting box, but Maud was always there. And it kind of disrupted the tempo of the birds, because they were all trying to lay and they weren't able to lay because she was there. So someone would squat on top of her and lay on top of her, and then the eggs would roll underneath her, and which was a good thing because she'd collect the eggs for us. But the sad thing is Maud feels her hormones have told her it's time to get broody, but we don't have a rooster, so none of these eggs are fertilized. None of these eggs will ever turn into chickens. So what does that mean? What do we do? So when you have a broody hen, a couple things happen. One, they want to use the community nesting box, which is a problem. It upsets the hierarchy. And number two, she collects those eggs and guards those eggs as if they're fertilized eggs. They're going to turn into chicks. So you can't really collect them and use them. And it upsets the balance of things. So, and then the third thing is, now you have a hen, Maud. She's broody. She doesn't lay when she's broody, and she won't lay for up to 6 weeks after her broodiness breaks. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get her out of the nesting box and over to an area where the collective shop would return to normal. So that the other hens would go back to the collective box. I'm sorry, Mildred, we're bothering you. I'm going to go around the other side so we don't bother Mildred as much. So I had to restore a semblance of order, so I moved Maud to her. I made an alternate nesting box out of a milk crate, and made an alternate nesting box out of a milk crate for Maud, and I had to get her there. Now, they're very defensive of their nest. So the trick is you do it in the middle of the night. So I moved Maud in the middle of the night. Well, it was dark. Chickens can't see in the dark. She was sound asleep. So I picked her up out of this nesting box that Mildred's in now, or that Mildred's vacating now, and I put her into that milk crate there in the corner. And by doing that, that freed up the common nesting box, of which you can see some eggs in there. It freed up the common nesting box and allowed Maud a safe place to stay. So Maud, in the corner here, I set up with a fake egg and golf balls. Now when the chicken's hormones are such that they're broody, they'll sit upon anything that's basically the shape of an egg. The shape and size of an egg they'll sit upon. And she did. So she's sitting on top of, see, there's some eggs in there for today. So Maud is sitting on top of one fake egg and 2 golf balls. And she's been doing that since June 1st. Today is June 21st, so for the past 20 days, she's been there. Now, a typical brooding period for eggs is about 21 days, give or take, depending on when the eggs were laid. They should hatch around 21, 22 days afterwards. So, but the reality is, Maud's eggs will never hatch because 2 of them are golf balls and 1 of them is a fake egg. So, when we're going to take care of or do something with broody hens, you need to consider a couple things. You can break their broodiness, and there are ways to do that. There's several different ways to do that, and you can do it humanely. In other words, you don't hurt the chicken, but nonetheless, I find it to be a little cruel. One way is you take them and you put them in a wire mesh crate where they can't really sit down, and they have to stand there for a few days, and it kind of messes with their temperament and upsets them, and they stop being broody. And then you still have 6 weeks before they will start laying eggs again. Another way to break their broodiness is to give them fertilized eggs to actually hatch. They'll hatch those eggs, and they'll raise those chicks as if they were their own. Whether they're their own fertilized eggs or you buy fertilized eggs, they'll hatch those and raise them as if they're their own, which is great. But we don't have any fertilized eggs, and I didn't buy any fertilized eggs. The third option, the one that we've chosen to do, and I hope she stays broody for a few more days, because we're going to have a video of that. We're going to, in the middle of the night, remove the fake egg and golf balls from out underneath Maud, and we're going to replace them with day-old baby chicks. So she's going to wake up in the morning and find day-old baby chicks underneath her, as if her golf balls and fake egg hatched. We're going to see if she raises them as if they're her own. It's a fun little experiment. It works. One of the things we did, and I don't know, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research, and I'm going to have to watch her closely, see how it works, is I've kept her in the group with the chickens. So she hasn't lost her place in the pecking order. I mean, yeah, she spends a lot of time inside, but she really realistically hasn't lost her place in the pecking order. And the new chicks, unlike the teenage chicks over there, where if we released the teenage chicks into the general population with the hens, they would be bullied because they're smaller, and they'd be bullied for their place in the pecking order. It could potentially be dangerous for them. They could get hurt or killed because they're so small. But in the case of chicks that are being mothered, in this case by Maud, Maud will protect them, in theory, and mother them properly. So those day-old baby chicks should be raised by Maud and will fare a little bit differently than if they were chicks that were introduced to the flock without a mother. So, but you can only do that if you have a broody hen that's ready to start mothering. So that's the plan, and that's the update on them. So you got Maud inside. Mildred is finally back outside. She was one of the nesting box before, right there. There's Gertrude. She's the mother hen. She's the top hen of them all. You have Molly over there. And we have Matilda right here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Martha, of course, is 5. Maud is inside. She's 6. We have these 4 pullets here ready to go. And then next Wednesday, so a week from today, we'll have 4 day-old baby chicks here ready to go. And if Maud, I hope, stays broody until then, Maud stays broody until then, we're going to introduce them to Maud, and Maud will become their mother and raise them. So that's the latest update on the chickens for now. 6 hens, 4 pullets, and hopefully 4 baby chicks on their way a week from today. I'll go into more detail later. I hope you're all well. Please subscribe. Please give us the thumbs up. Thumbs up and subscriptions helps us, helps our website, and helps our exposure. Thanks all. Have a good day. Bye.